Visiting a popular city is all well and good, but to get the most out of it, you need to know exactly where the action is. Welcome to MojoTravels, and today we're counting down our picks for the coolest neighborhoods around the world you need to visit in 2019. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to MojoTravels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at a few of the most interesting, dynamic, up-and-coming, or on-trend neighborhoods across the globe. Astoria, New York City, USA. New York consistently ranks among the most visited cities in the world. It's a destination that's both rich in history and on the cutting edge of trends in fashion, art, food, and music. The problem is, given that it attracts so many international visitors each and every year, there are a whole lot of tourist traps to navigate. One could easily spend a week in the city without having a single authentic experience with which an actual New Yorker might relate. The key to making the most of your time in NYC? Knowing the neighborhoods. And right now, there is no area of the city that's cooler than Astoria, in the borough of Queens. The area is affordable and is home to a diverse and community-minded population. Astoria is very much keeping the idea of the American melting pot alive. Long-standing family-owned businesses share sidewalks with new eateries, cafes, and bars. Astoria is historically known for its Greek food, but today you'll find plenty of Middle Eastern, Creole, Italian, Mexican, and Japanese restaurants all doing their heritage proud. The bar scene, which includes the historic Bohemian Hall and Beer Garden, is vibrant and similarly diverse. Plus, Astoria Park gives visitors a unique view of Manhattan. Barranco, Lima, Peru. Peru's capital city is a feast for the senses. It's known for its beautiful mixture of colonial, Spanish Baroque, neoclassical, and Art Nouveau architecture, as well as its breathtaking coastline and, of course, the food. The dishes that make up Peruvian cuisine will keep you coming back for more, especially when you realize how little a delicious plate of food will cost you. The city has a number of must-visit areas, including the picturesque historic center and Barrio Chino, or Chinatown. But the standout is the neighborhood of Barranco. Here, the streets are lined with colorful murals. It's long been Lima's artist haven. Now, when people catch on to a neighborhood's potential, that which made the area appealing can quickly be washed away in a wave of gentrification characterized by generic, of-the-moment businesses. Thankfully, Barranco has managed to avoid this common pitfall. Yes, trendy bars and restaurants have moved in, but most of them seem to have a great respect for the neighborhood and its deep roots, rich history, and rugged charms. Oltrarno, Florence, Italy. Florence is a city that requires little introduction. It's estimated that it now receives in the ballpark of 10 million visitors each and every year, making it one of the country's most popular destinations after Rome, Milan, and Venice. The thing is, travelers, international tourists in particular, tend to treat it as a short stopover, typically only allocating it 3 days. In so little time, one can't help but treat the city as a single homogeneous entity. You're unlikely to experience much else beyond its most famous attractions like the Uffizi Gallery and the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore. Travelers rushing through the city might not even set foot in arguably the city's greatest contemporary selling point, Oltrarno. Here, across the iconic Ponte Vecchio, the throngs of tourists subside. The cocktail bars are chic but refreshingly frequented by locals. The restaurants have a similarly authentic feel to them. You're unlikely to find tourist menus. These are family-run joints, and many of them have been open for generations. In short, Oltrarno seemingly does the impossible by offering up the architectural beauty people seek in Florence, an abundance of green space, and traditional Florentine food, while also feeling modern, trendy, and fashionable. Old Havana, Havana, Cuba. The nightlife in Cuba's capital is the stuff of legend. But this city has so much more to offer than the debauchery that first made it famous with artists and writers in the 1920s. Cuba as a nation has a truly unique history, one that's resulted in a rich, highly localized culture that needs to be experienced firsthand to properly be appreciated. It is a place of music, food, and dance, populated by an incredibly industrious people who waste little and cherish their traditions. But nowhere is all of this more evident or concentrated than in Havana Vieja. In one sense, Old Havana lives up to its name. The buildings show their age, and the streets are lined with vintage cars that have been kept running out of necessity rather than nostalgia. And yet, to call it old-fashioned wouldn't be accurate. The many cafes, nightclubs, restaurants, bars, fruit vendors, and tobacco sellers imbue the entire neighborhood with a zest for life rooted very firmly in the present. Street art covers the walls and music fills the air. Contrary to popular belief, Havana is also an incredibly safe city nowadays. So trust us when we say that Old Havana will not disappoint. Peckham, London, England. The Big Smoke is one of the most historically important and storied cities in the world. One could easily spend a month there and barely begin to make a dent in all that the city has to offer, from historic sites and cultural institutions to world-renowned restaurants and endless possibilities for shoppers. For that reason, it's important to put in the research and figure out what your priorities are before you get there. Regardless of your travel style, Peckham should be high on your list. This is London at its trendiest and most exciting, and yet it somehow remains completely unpretentious. Peckham is a multicultural neighborhood with strong roots, but one that's apparently undaunted by change. Here you'll find authentic and generations-old pie shops and traditional pubs, as well as trendy restaurants representing a wide variety of cuisines, plus an abundance of cafes. The bar scene is similarly on point, while the various boutiques and specialty shops are sure to appeal to shoppers who like to support small businesses. Colorful, lively, and never short on unique activities, events, and pop-ups, Peckham truly has something for everyone. Be sure to check out the Peckham Levels, a parking garage turned cultural destination, and the Peckham Flea Market. Shimokitazawa, Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo has long been a popular destination with international travelers, but in recent years it's seemingly risen to unprecedented heights of popularity, jumping to the top of many bucket lists. Once you've booked your flight, however, you have to figure out where you're going to spend your time in Japan's capital city. The neighborhoods that travelers have traditionally gravitated towards include Shibuya, Harajuku, Shinjuku, and Ginza. They each have something to offer in their own right, and they should definitely appear on your itinerary, but if you're looking to experience Tokyo's single coolest neighborhood as of 2019, you've got to spend some time exploring Shimokitazawa. A city as popular as Tokyo struggles to maintain a sense of authenticity, but Shimokitazawa is 100% itself. Even as people catch on to its gritty charms, the locals ensure that it maintains its integrity as a neighborhood of art, counterculture values, and underground music. It's often described as bohemian or a hipster haven, but that doesn't really do the area justice. Shimokitazawa is utterly unique, from the abundance of thrift stores, arcades, and vintage shops, to the countless little bars, independent cafes, and affordable but tasty hole-in-the-wall restaurants. This neighborhood feels like one big treasure hunt, with gems around every corner. Perhaps most importantly, however, it is without a doubt the heart of Tokyo's indie music scene. Check out this other recent clip from MojoTravels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.